Classic League Podcast time! Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 255 of the Classic Elite Podcast. My name is Scott. I've got Dustin with me. What is going on, man?
I might have been a little early on the shoulder shimmy.
That was my bad. I was a little delayed.
Yeah. I'm not going to let it stop me, though.
I was going to say, just keep it going. It'll all balance out. You've reached your shimmy quota for the week. Josh is not going to be able to join us this week, so it's just going to be Dustin and I. We're a video game podcast, but before we start talking about video games, Dustin, how has the week been, man?
Pretty good. It's been, I've been hitting like a wide spectrum of music.
All right, I'm down for talking about some music up front.
I went back and I realized I didn't go to the Neon Dystopia's October music dossier.
Okay, yeah.
So I went back and I actually got 3 of the albums off of that.
Really?
Yeah, they were really good.
Did you know the artists? I wonder if I'm familiar with any of them.
Let's see here.
Because there'll be some crossover, like Scattle will be on there, or Carpenter Brute could be on there, that kind of stuff.
One is Alphane Reality Generator. Alphane, Alphane.
I'll go with Alphane?
Alphane?
Like Daphne?
Yeah.
Not familiar with that one.
One is, God, I can't pronounce any of them. Rufus, Rifhes.
Nope, not ringing a bell.
And the third is Gregorio Franco.
None of them, but they're all recommended. They're all good stuff.
Yeah.
So they're from
the money on them.
Since they're from the Cyberpunk dossier, they all have a similar feel, or is one of them more aggressive than the other, and one more ambient?
So the first one I mentioned is a little lo-fi.
Okay.
It reminds me of kind of like PlayStation 1 music.
All right.
Where it was getting into it sounded like real music, but it's still a little crunchy because it was compressed a little.
Yeah, okay.
So it sounds really good. I like it. Riff, that guy, he is a drum and bass. He usually does drum and bass.
Okay.
But the album that I picked up is called Neuromancer, and it's kind of like his idea of what a soundtrack for the book would be.
All right.
Like what music in that world would sound like, but it's also still like drum and bass influenced. And then the last one, Gregorio Franco, is just dark synth.
Okay, awesome.
It's great. It reminds me a lot of Carpenter Brute.
I was going to say Carpenter Brute or Depeche Mode kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sweet. I've been into, I haven't played very many video games. I've really gotten pretty far down the rabbit hole of restoring my old guitar. And it's really fun. It scratches the same itch that PC tinkering does. So yeah. I'll talk about that a bit later. I will say it's a good thing I'm not into cars, because I have the wrong mentality to be into tinkering kind of stuff. But it's been a lot of fun. I guess I'll say it up front. I bought my guitar 20 years ago. I've been the only one that's owned the guitar, and I'm just now having an issue trying to figure out how to restart it properly. I couldn't find the issue I was having at all anywhere on the internet. I spent hours. I am research savvy. This is something I should have been able to figure out. I called Fender's customer service. The rep had never seen the issue I was having. Spent some time, figured out the problem, spoke to another tech, gave me a great solution. Like, they treated me like the guitar was under warranty and I bought it yesterday.
Dude, that's awesome.
I was like, that is freaking amazing. Thank you, Fender. So my Mexican standard Stratocaster is getting some pretty sweet upgrades, and it was cool. I was like, this is pretty badass. I was very appreciative of not only the solution but the time they took to research the issue. It was really cool. So, yeah, other than that, I went to a bachelor party last weekend in
How'd that go?
Cleveland. It was fun. I went on a brewery tour. There was an incident with one of the gentlemen with us. It's not good on the it's not a funny story.
Hmm.
He's okay, but paramedics needed to be called. We'll just leave it at that.
Oh man.
So yeah, that's been it for the week, and I guess any other cool stories before we get into a couple of quick announcements and then gaming news.
I picked up a Dead Milkman album.
Oh yeah, Critical Failure mentioned them on Twitter as a response.
Mm-hmm.
I was not
He was
familiar.
like the only person.
Alex knows his stuff though.
Yeah.
Like from the very beginning of me listening to him, he always had really cool music. He was the one that turned me on to Tom Waits, convinced me to give him a try. So
Word.
yeah, he's always had.
He used to have like musical interludes in the middle of his
Yeah, and not
show.
like
Yeah.
and not like chiptune stuff, like
Actual music.
actual music stuff he liked with instruments. So yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, any other music outside of that stuff?
So I actually, like, goodness gracious, here, let me show you this. Kids today probably won't even recognize what this is.
Oh, the CD book.
The CD wallet, yeah.
Oh my god.
I was going through that, and I was looking for the Urges, the gift of receiving flavor.
Wait,
Hold on.
the Urge, yeah, the Urge is got like the Nick Hexum was on there, hit single. It's like a black lead singer. Jump Right In. The single Jump Right In.
Yes, receiving the gift of flavor,
Dude. Oh, okay, go on. Sorry. That song just came up with my brother and I a couple months ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was looking. Okay, so actually, this goes back even further.
Okay.
I watched Todd in the Shadows review of Thunder and Still Feel It. It doesn't matter. It was some other song. But at the end of that, he played Sell Out by Real Big Fish.
Oh, God. Okay.
And I was like, Real Big Fish, man. I
Ska
remember
music,
them.
baby.
Yeah, and it made me start thinking about ska music, and I was like, The Urge was great. They're a ska band. I remember seeing them with the Far Side and Korn when I was like 16 years old.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Before they were cool. And I went to play that on my phone, and I only had like half the songs for some reason. I think I was just being picky when I put it on there.
Well, I mean, you've always got the lowest memory phone. So you've had, and you have a child now, so you've had to really manage that.
Jake Daly.
Hey, what's up, dude? Good to see you,
Talking about
Jake.
music. So anyway, I was going through my huge CD wallet here, trying to find the Urge because it's like one of probably 200 CDs I have here. And I kept running into other stuff. Like I found PM Dawn.
Oh my god!
And I wanted to put that on there because I was thinking about that recently, but I didn't have it. And you were talking about Primus, and the only thing I have from them was Pork Soda.
Okay, yeah, that's got. I think that came out in like '94, maybe.
Somewhere around there. My Name is Mud.
That's got My Name is Mud, and John the Fisherman's on that one, I think. Is that right? Or Winona's Big. Is Winona's Beaver on that one?
That sounds familiar.
It's the one where they're in big cowboy costumes in the music video. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. But I only listened to the first like 2 or 3 songs on that. My Name is Mud and Welcome to This World.
Okay.
And the first one's an intro. No, I don't think Winona's Big Brown Beaver is on there.
Okay. I don't know their discography well.
The rest of that CD is just noise. I remember buying that when I was young and just being completely disappointed in it.
Your brain was still forming. You couldn't comprehend Les Claypool.
Yeah. I was like, I don't care how good your bass is. But I completely forgot that Nine Inch Nails' EP Broken existed.
You have Broken?
I do.
Oh, that's got like Sin and I think Lie on it. Like that's got some good stuff on there.
But I was like, I found Downward Spiral, and I was like, wait, what the hell's this other one? And I was like, oh, dude, Broken. It has like Pinion and Wish, and like I was like, oh my gosh, so I put that on there. And I have like a weird, possibly pirated copy of Downward Spiral that didn't want to, because it looks like a burned CD, but it has like a label on it.
Oh, okay.
Like somebody put, like, it's a good label for someone who I'm sure stole this, but I just bought it off online.
We had a kid in our senior year that had a CD burner, and he would pass around a physical list of songs on a sheet, and you could request up to 15 songs. He'd burn them for you at like a $15 clip or something like that. He made a killing.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's great. I didn't look through mine, but I just moved my book around trying to find my old tremolo bar. And I was like, oh my God, I got all those. I've got a bunch of pirated CDs in there too.
Yeah.
But some cool bootlegs, some concerts that are very rare, all that kind of stuff. I have a copy of the Radiohead show that I saw senior year.
Cool.
I went to see Radiohead, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great show. And then a kid from around the corner from me freshman year in the dorms was at the same show and also was into bootleg music. And he's like, dude, I have the show we went to. Really? It was awesome. It was really cool to have. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I've been listening to a bunch of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin. I'm determined to, now that I'm fixing up my guitar, I want to play like strat heavy stuff. And David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, I just love the way he plays guitar. So I'm going to learn more than just Wish You Were Here, which is like all that I know from them, which is a crowd pleaser, but like I really want to learn a lot of the solos and the way he does it. I'm capable of playing his solos, but I've never sat down to try to figure them out. There are plenty of guitarists where I can't play their solos, but David Gilmour's got a lot that I mechanically can do. So that's sweet, man. Yeah, no video games this week, I guess, guys. Just classic music talk.
Now we're going to talk about Blind Melon and the Chemical Brothers.
Also good ones. Does that have? Was that a later one that's the name of the game on it? It was like a music video with a dude with a big nose from Chemical Brothers. I loved that song. It was a later release though. You probably recognize if I heard it.
Yeah. Was that from Dig Your Own Hole? That's the one I got right beside me.
Dude, I don't know. Give me a release date. It's got a release date on that CD?
That was probably, I'm going to say, it does not. I'm going to say 96.
Okay. I can already tell you that's not the one. I think this came out after we graduated high school.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like 02, something like that. So.
Okay.
But yeah.
How about Boston or the Dead Kennedys?
Not a fan of either of those. My brother went to see Boston because he called into a radio show and won free tickets.
Cool.
Saw him at the Toledo Zoo. He's like, why not? It's free tickets to Boston.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah, man. What else? Let's thumb through some more. I'm enjoying the trip down memory lane.
I didn't buy Sell Out, but I did pick up the Setup from Real Big Fish.
Okay.
That's a good song. How about the Deftones?
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, hold on. That is Adrenaline, their first album.
Yep. I got some Vandals.
Vandals, I've heard of them. I'm not a fan. I don't know if I'd like them or not, though. Probably would. The Deftones.
That's the best thing that ever happened for me with MySpace was the Vandals Wish Me Happy Birthday ones.
Really? That's pretty rad, man.
It's like, well, the social media's all downhill from here.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of them for sure. I don't know if I could. I bet there actually is some That if you played me, I'd be like, oh, they're who did that song.
Ben Folds 5.
Has that got Brick on it?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that song too many times. I'm still tired of it. And I probably haven't heard it since high school. He is a very talented musician. That dude put on some wicked live shows. He used to do some really neat things inside of a grand piano to get effects.
Cool.
Just really creative dude.
Let's see. Ooh, DJ Shadow.
I was just going to say, you got any DJ Shadow? That's introducing. I recognize that one.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Yes. DJ Shadow's. Oh, my God. Introducing and Private Press, two of my favorite albums of all time.
Crystal Method.
There you go.
That's Vegas.
Got any Daft Punk?
I do not. I've got Duran Duran.
Nice. That's the one that's got Hungry Like a Wolf on it, I think.
Yep. Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
I know there's at least one good one on there. Damn, Dustin, I'm starting to feel like you, knowing all these little nuanced things about CDs you're just randomly bringing up.
How about Pitch Shifter?
Nope, not familiar.
They're pretty good. That's www.pitchshifter.com.
I'm familiar with Bit Shifter. It's a chiptune guy. It's really good. Is that minus El Oso? Or El Oso from I'm Roll Circles and Rollins on there.
This is Pearl Jam?
Oh no, okay, no. I'm thinking of
You're thinking of Soul Coughing.
Yes, thank you.
I do have that album somewhere.
Another really good one. Okay, let's talk about video games. I think we've indulged enough.
Blink 182.
Well, now you can't end on that.
Okay. Let's see. I have some of these double stacked. Let me see what I got behind these.
Oh, the secrets. Is that where you're going to get Around the Fur? Is going to be behind Adrenaline?
Yeah.
I used to do that. I would sort by artist.
That's one of the Strokes albums.
Okay, I'll take that more than Blink 182. For sure. So, video game news this week. Do we have any announcements? We do not. If you'd like to support the show, please leave us reviews on Google Play and iTunes or Apple Podcast now. Anywhere you can leave us reviews, YouTube, any of that kind of stuff, that would be great. Helps out the show a lot. And if you'd like to join us for our music chats, I promise we're a video game podcast, you can do that Wednesday nights around 8:15 Eastern Time. And if you're in chat, Dustin will share the notes or the articles, links to the articles that we're going to be talking about.
That's right.
So we don't have a lot of news this week, so I'm glad that we were able to fill it up with some great mid to late 90s music stuff. EA, they got the two big stories this week. You want to talk about them preemptively shutting down a great studio, or do you want to talk about people being even more mad at them for other reasons?
Well, Respawn made some pretty good games.
They did. They made two really good games. And they have $400 million in their pocket now.
Yeah. They're like, well, we don't want to stop making games. How about for $400 million? Okay, you got it. And shake.
So
I'm going to go buy an island.
We'll get one more true Titanfall, and then it'll be... No, it'll just be Titanfall as a game as a service now, I think.
Yeah. Babs.
Hey, Babs, what's going on? Good to see you. We got a kitty raid. We got some people joining us. Thanks for coming over. Yeah, so I don't know what else there is to discuss other than EA bought Respawn.
Yeah.
For $400 million. And I haven't played Titanfall 1 or 2, but I hear they're awesome. Well, I played the beta of the first one, and I liked it.
6 months. I haven't cracked it open. PS4.
PS4? Well,
one of these Cyberpunk Saturdays.
Oh, that is a good one for that. Hey, is Sonic the Hedgehog Cyberpunk?
I would say the cartoon was.
I'd say no off the bat, but as soon as I try to explain why it's not, I can't.
The game itself is not due to the fact that it has too many primary colors. Right?
Okay.
It's too pastoral and nice looking.
All right, that's
There's
fair.
there's too much hope. Like
That,
in Sonic CD, when you start getting into like the bad future, that's when it starts to look cyberpunk.
okay. Which is not a clear no.
Right.
At least take some thought.
Eventually, if you dig down deep enough, you start to realize that all genre conventions are kind of meaningless, and
Oh, I thought you were going to say when you really dig down, everything is cyberpunk.
that too. Yes, it's also an RPG.
So the next bit of news, I don't really have any true thoughts. If you do about microtransactions, you're welcome to give them. I think it's pretty funny to look at the Metacritic score of Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I saw that.
The critics are giving it mid 70s, upper 70s out of 10 scores, and isn't the user at 1.5 out of 100?
It's a 1.0 now.
It's a 1.0 out of a possible 100 points. That's crazy. That is a lot of pissed off fans. So just to give you a general idea, the microtransactions seem out of control on Battlefront 2. It seems like you either pay for an advantage, and I'm paraphrasing here, so I'm doing my best to keep it concise.
Mm-hmm.
But you can spend a lot of time grinding out currencies to buy stuff, or you can pay real money to buy stuff. And it sounds like complaints are they've locked a lot of the good things behind paywalls, and also advantages can be had by just paying more money versus spending a lot of time leveling up your guys or whatever. And we can have that discussion, I guess, if you want, as a philosophical one. But not only are they getting a 1.0 out of 100 on Metacritic, as our buddy Ken in the chat pointed out, EA now has the most downvoted, or was that Andrew? I think Andrew might have said that. EA's got the most downvoted post in Reddit history. And it was the response to the backlash to this.
Oh my goodness.
Have you seen any funny memes, or have you seen any jokes around this?
It just seems like people are pissed off about it, like actually pissed off. Not like internet pissed off.
I saw, according to a Video Game Outsiders podcast I was listening to before we recorded, as of Tuesday night, it was more difficult to cancel your pre-order from, I think, EA's site, or maybe through Origin or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see things on Reddit where people were taking screen caps of being in chat with customer service. Mm-hmm. Like, why do you want to cancel the pre-order? And the Redditor just said, you know why. And the customer service response was, right. They're not even playing dumb. Just like, we know there's a bunch of backlash.
That's great.
Have you seen any deeper explanations as to some of the major complaints people have had about?
Not really. I know it's about microtransactions, but I can't give you specifics.
Jim Sterling has a really good YouTube video called Star Wars Battlefront 2, a bad mobile game in premium clothing, which is a good explanation video. And Giant Bombcast episode 507 has a really good discussion that goes in depth. So if you aren't up to date on this stuff and you would like to be, go to one of those two sources. That's where I know the little bit that I do about it so far as just hearing them talk about it. My biggest disappointment is, remember how excited we were about the writers for this story?
Yeah.
The Spec Ops The Line.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard a thing about the story. Yeah. Other than Jeff Gerstmann implying it was sort of generic. So I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I was hoping that that if there were microtransactions, people would say, but it was so much fun, the story was so good.
Yeah.
You know, like it was an Uncharted thing or whatnot, where The single player was really strong, even though a lot of people still play the multiplayer. That I don't know. It got upper 70s, right, on Metacritic.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not Spec Ops good, I doubt.
Not much is.
That's true, man. That was really fun.
It was, yeah.
It was a good, and it was short. It wasn't too long for me. So
that's a good game. That's a good game for just throwing around easy and getting through it.
It really is, and trying to pay attention to the cutscenes and getting through the monster closets or whatever, bullet hallways and whatnot. For the generation that came out, there's some really cool set pieces. Is it in Dubai? Is that where that takes place?
I think so.
Somewhere like in India or whatnot. It was really, really cool. There was a lot of sand. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter.
No, close enough.
Yeah.
Well, don't say that now, Dustin. We're going to get shut down by the communists out there. Which I was watching a little bit of License to Drive, the Corey's movie. There's a scene early in the movie that is hilarious. It's the same political climate back then. At one point, Corey Haim says to his twin sister something about "shut up about your commie boyfriend." It was like, okay, I guess we act like things have changed, but things haven't changed.
We just have social media now.
It was a very funny thing. Yeah, the only people that were public were the Coreys, and now anybody can be.
Yeah.
So next up, we have some pretty funny news, or not funny. That's next. This is pretty neat news. Did you see anything about Mario?
They're getting an animated movie by the people who did Minions, and I've seen the Minions movies, and they're not bad.
I'll take that.
So, like, I've watched them with Solomon, and like I chuckle.
They're wildly popular, and as everywhere as they are. And
so if you're our age, if you played the original NES Super Mario, this movie isn't going to be for you. I'm going to say that right now. This is going to be marketed for children. I don't want another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie scenario where you got like 33-year-old men crying about how their childhood was ruined because they made some movie. It's not going to be made for you. It's going to be made for kids. It's going to be made for kids. Stop it.
But I'm optimistic it'll be a good kids movie.
Yes.
And I'm cool with a Nintendo movie exploding in popularity.
Yeah. Oh, man. I can't wait to talk about what I played.
About Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God there's not much news here. We're really bookending stuff with great music talk and Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I've really played this week, other than tinkering with some stuff and like 10 minutes of another game. Mario Odyssey is incredible. I'm very. So good. I feel bad for Sonic Forces and that Lucky's Tale. They're getting just destroyed because everyone's coming off of Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
So those are mediocre games, right? But they pale in comparison to Mario, and so now they look like just turds. Like, I don't even want to waste my time with those.
Yeah.
I'll go start a new Mario save.
Oh, it's kind of like, what was that game? The baseball guy bought that studio and made it? Knights of Amalur?
Yeah, Knights of Amalur. Kurt Schilling, 38 Studios, out of New Jersey.
They released that like almost directly after Skyrim.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was like, this game. Get out of here.
I remember thinking that it was... I was new to modern video games when that was all happening, but we had started the podcast. Wait. Zarek just says, but Bob Hoskins is dead, question mark. How can they make another movie? I'm not so sure if John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper can carry a movie by themselves. That's... John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper definitely could carry movies by themselves.
Is Dennis Hopper still alive? I feel like he's dead too.
I think he might be dead.
So, okay, let's see. John Leguizamo is now Mario.
Okay.
Luigi is going to be played by.
Michael Cera. Now, who would be who would be another? What if we went like with a Jack Black in there as either Mario or Luigi with Joggling Wazamo? There's the potential for some very silly, funny stuff, which Mario should be. Like you said, it's not going to be for us. It's going to be for kids.
Right. Ooh, hey, okay. John Leguizamo is Mario as tribute to the original Mario Brothers movie.
All right.
Jack Black is Wario.
This is why I like doing a podcast with you. You're smarter than I am. Holy shit, that's a wonderful idea.
And then Michael Cera, Luigi, the guy that was in The Social Network, who looks like Bizarro, he's Waluigi.
Yes, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yes.
He's Walu. Oh my god. Wow. I would totally buy into that.
And then who's Princess Peach?
Scarlett Johansson. Just because I know that she's not funny. No, I know who would be. We got to go with Christina Pajinski. She's got an awesome stand-up special on Netflix right now. She's Tom Segura's wife. Tom Segura is probably the strongest stand-up comedian right now. He had the best Netflix series out of all last year, and his wife, she's pretty and she's outrageously funny.
There you have it.
She would have to be Princess Peach. With that cast, yeah, she would be amazing at it. Okay. Then Hollywood can take the rest.
Ooh, wait, Koopa. King Koopa.
The Rock. He's never been a villain, and he's huge.
Yeah, he was the Scorpion King.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Maybe that's too goofy. What if you went with an old, like a Tim Curry?
Okay.
Like an old classic.
Yeah. I'm always down to put Tim Curry in a movie.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, I could be like Legend, where he was the devil or whatever.
Yeah.
He can pull that off. He can choose some screen. Chat, what do you guys think? Any other Koopa suggestions? Bowser?
Zurich says Luigi is a girl now, a black woman. We need to modernize this movie, baby. Progressive. Wink.
Uh-oh. I guess...
Iron Man already did that. It's fine.
Well, let's... Terry Crews could be Bowser then.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm always down with Terry Crews being in a movie.
Yeah, so... There. We've got a really good webcomic going here. We got some fanfic that we're writing live.
Side project. Tim Curry and Terry Crews in a movie. Buddy cop film.
Oh my god, that would be unbelievable.
Yes.
I hear that Terry Crews is excellent in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
I never watched that show, but I've had it recommended several times. Everyone says it's funny. So.
Oh, crap.
Well,
I love Terry Crews.
Me too. I've talked about it before, but watching him go through the PC building process and the joy he had working, oh my god. Idiocracy. I'd vote for him. I'd vote for Terry Crews.
Yeah, in real life.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't mean for... I mean, in Idiocracy, I would too, but... Yeah, I would in real life. If he announced tomorrow, I'm running for president, I'm like, all right, great.
Yep.
I would be very excited for the next election if Terry Crews was running.
And if you don't vote for him, you're racist.
Well, that's what the news tells us right now. So next up, speaking of funny stuff, Russia needs to update their propaganda.
No, so I just want to go back and talk and make note of the fact that we went from Super Mario movie to Terry Crews for president.
I think that's a logical conclusion to... If you think it through, that's just where you end up.
Yeah.
You know? And if Terry Crews was president, because he's a PC gamer, he would know that Russia's proof that ISIS and the United States are collaborating was ripped from a YouTube video game.
That's right.
The Russian Ministry of Defense had some propaganda go up in Russia that showed a screenshot, and this was proof that the U.S. was working with ISIS. According to the Eurogamer article, though, this screenshot was actually from a video game. It's a game named AC-130 Gunship Simulator, and it was by the footage was uploaded to YouTube by a little-known developer named PC Games N, and we'll link the article. It's pretty funny, and the screenshot is ripped directly from a YouTube video. Awesome. It is not convincing. I'm not sure who they were trying to trick. That's crazy. That is crazy. I don't know. Does Russia have a crazy firewall like China does?
I don't think so.
Like, is it easy for them to be tricked by that?
I feel like
I don't think so.
maybe they don't have HD screens yet.
But I mean,
can't see it anyway.
I've seen better things in like I don't know, like a goofy police academy movie or something than look more convincing than this. Yeah, it honestly looked like someone set up toys and used an Instagram black and white filter and fuzzed it up a little bit. So if you'd like to read the article, it's just a funny thing. It probably wasn't intended to be an entire. I don't speak Russian, so maybe we're totally misreporting this. But right. According to Eurogamer, that's how they portrayed the article, and it's pretty funny. So next up, we have one other news story, Destin. So why don't you tell people what we got?
Yes, GameStop is right now halting the PowerPass program. That's the one we talked about where you pay for 6 months. You get to you can play in as many used games as you want. Was that right?
Yeah, you get
to keep one at the end of 6 months.
Yes.
Okay. And right now they are halting that. The article at Kotaku says they suspect it's because some of their computers are obsolete and they can't. It's just not going to work with the infrastructure that they have right now.
Yeah, like they can't track it
right.
accurately.
And they're saying right now that they're putting on pause and they're going to try and update and then go back to it. But at the end, they say, for the guests who have purchased the service, we will allow them to bring the pass and the game that they have checked out back to receive a full refund. In addition, we will allow them to pick out any pre-owned game for free. So, I don't know. That could be we're sorry for the inconvenience, or it could be this is never going to happen again, so we're trying to make the best of it.
I'm optimistic they're trying to make the best of it. I think it's a legit program. I do think that this reasoning is probably accurate. And I don't think that they wanted a PR shitstorm over a point-of-sale system issue when they could admit that they rolled it out too quickly and take care of the customers that did early adopt.
Yeah.
And then be ready and have that as the PR story instead of GameStop screwed up again, said something great, and they screwed it up. It's like their used game trade-in program has been a disaster. A lot of people are buying counterfeit games, and it's things that haven't been tested. You're getting crappy labels, mislabeled stuff, and GameStop's giving store credit or cash for these counterfeit items. So that hasn't been going very well for them. Yeah. Some people getting like a Chrono Trigger and it's Madden 92 or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's actually been happening.
Yeah.
So they couldn't afford a program like this to have a horrible start. So hopefully it works. It still sounds like a really cool service if you have if you're only in consoles, like perfect.
Yeah.
Or if you have multiple consoles. If You have an Xbox and a PlayStation. Like, you can go get Uncharted and then get Gears of War and keep Mario.
I feel like this feels like the natural progression of video game rentals.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like if brick and mortar stores rentals were still a thing, I think this is what would
And I did see a
would
lot
turn
of.
into.
We had talked about a lot of people, and I agree with you. And it was a reason to get you into the store. Remember how upsold we were on candy and crap at the rental store?
Mm-hmm.
And you would joke that GameStops are like Hot Topics now with all the stuff in there that they're selling outside of games.
Yeah.
So we were right on the money, knowing that this is really about foot traffic more than selling a used game.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something nice about having GameStop around because we can kind of poke fun at them a little bit, but in a pinch, they've got games that you can go get right now.
That's true.
So,
They're probably in a different case, and the manual is missing.
Probably. It's just one of those things where if GameStop had a good PR reputation, it would be good for games. And if they provide good services for consumers, that's a good thing for video games.
Yeah. And if they start doing well enough, competitors could pop up.
That would now. I think their models, they're in trouble just long term because of how big they are.
Mm-hmm.
But they will be proof of concept of independent stores popping up for competition.
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes back soon. Especially around Christmas time.
Yeah.
You get a new console, like you can start ripping through your backlog of games. It'd be pretty cool. Especially if your parents had to scrape everything they could together to get a console. It was the big family gift. Well, they don't come with games, so this could be a really good program. So hopefully it comes back soon.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, it's time for our YouTube channel of the week. So
channel of the week. Week. What
do we got this week?
This week we're going to do Late Night Retro. He does retro video game reviews. And the one I picked was Yumi Penguin Monogatari.
This guy's funny.
And did you see it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's basically, I didn't know about this game. It's a Famicom game in which you're fat shamed by your girlfriend. Like the enemy projectiles coming at you are pieces of food, and the more you get hit, the fatter you get. And if you're too fat, she's like, no. And you have to go back to the beginning of the stage.
I think that's a funny premise for a video game.
Yeah. I thought it was great.
It's goofy. It's not intended to be... See, unfortunately, our words are so warped. We use fat shame instead of silly game mechanic, you know? It's very funny. I just think it's a funny premise of a game. Yeah, Late Night Retro. How'd you find this guy?
This review was tweeted by, was it Vintage Video Game Geek on Twitter?
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
And I clicked on it just to check it out, and yeah.
Vintage Video Game Geek is really funny on Twitter.
He is.
His videos are excellent. His Geek Speak series is very, very funny. But yeah, follow Vintage Video Game Geek on Twitter. He's really good. Speaking of old video game geeks, we didn't talk about the Polygon article that came out that ranked the Marios.
Yes.
It is a crazy list, but if you look at the list, you'll never believe who wrote it.
Okay.
Actually, I will. You know what? Now we're gonna do a little game on the spot here, Dustin.
Ooh, all right.
I'm gonna read you the list from the 18th core Mario games, okay, to the first one, and then it's a prominent video game journalist is a hint, and I'll give you another hint. You like this person.
Okay.
You might not anymore, but Those are my hints. Okay.
All right.
So at number 18, he ranks the 18th. Out of the core Mario games, this is last. He says Super Mario Lost Levels for Famicom Disk System.
Yeah.
Number 17, New Super Mario Brothers for the DS, the 2006 release.
Okay.
Number 16, Super Mario Sunshine.
Okay.
Okay, so far there's not ruffling any feathers, right?
Right.
Number 15, Super Mario Land on the Game Boy.
Okay.
Okay. Number 14, New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS.
All right.
Still, nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
NES, our Super Mario Bros. 2 for 13. Came out in 1988.
Okay.
Then he ranks Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins as number 12. Here's where things start to get a little different than the common opinion. Number 11, Super Mario 64. That's pretty far down the list.
That's number 2.
Okay. Number 10, New Super Mario Brothers for the Wii. So he's got...
No. Stop it.
That's another hint. He's a boy. Number 9, Super Mario Land, or Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS. I personally would have that higher, but I think right in the middle seems fair. Number 8, the original Super Mario Bros. 1.
Okay.
Number
There's
7,
no way that's better than... Never mind.
Number 7, Super Mario Galaxy. Okay. Number 6, Super Mario World for the SNES. Not even a top 5. Super Mario World. Number 5, Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U.
Okay.
Okay.
I get behind that. That game
number
is
5.
excellent.
Excellent. Number 4, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Number 3, Super Mario Odyssey. Number 2, Super Mario Brothers 3. Ready for number 1? New Super Mario Brothers U for the Wii U is number 1.
Okay, so it's a him.
It's a him.
He's a game journalist,
Yep.
and I like him.
Yeah.
And they think that...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that Super Mario 64 is not a top 10 Mario. They say that Super Mario World is not a top 5 Mario. And they say that Super Mario Wii U, New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, the one that had like the Luigi was out that year. It had the not Picasso, just he cut his ear off. Van Gogh had the Van Gogh level on it.
All right, yeah.
Any guesses on the journalist?
Is it Patrick Klepek?
It's not.
Okay.
Not a bad guess.
Oh, wait. Is it Colin Moriarty?
It's not Colin Moriarty. Another good guess. Go old school.
Jeremy Parish?
Jeremy Parish.
What in the hell?
Jeremy Parish wrote that article.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Sometimes you realize you don't have certain things in common with people that you really like. Yeah. I would love to hear a podcast about him just going over the list. Not justifying it, just like Game of the Year, but with himself.
Yeah.
Just thinking out loud. I'd love to hear his thought process and that stuff. Crazy.
No.
We have to unfollow GameSpite on Twitter now.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I thought it was a silly list. I thought it was a clickbait on purpose. And then I saw the byline was Jeremy Parish. I'm like, damn. All right. That opens my consideration, I guess.
I want to hear why he thinks that is number 1.
Okay, I can He gives an explanation, so I'll let you read it.
Okay.
Crazy.
What?
Hey,
None of that makes sense. None of that. You know what? He's lost a lot of weight. Pretty sure he's smoking crack now. That's what it is.
he started dabbling with alcohol.
Mystery solved.
He's got a video series with gin as a pun. So he's gone off the deep end. It's always the late bloomers.
Crawl out of the bottle there, Jeremy.
But yeah, Jeremy Parish from the old 1UP days.
Crawl out of the crack pipe.
Jeremy Parish is like the games journalist.
Yeah.
Like the way that certain comedians are the comedian's comedian. I view Jeremy Parish that way.
Yeah.
He's the archivist. Everybody knows who he is that is in that industry. Yeah. That was him. So maybe we can get him on as a guest and grill him.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
My opening question is going to be, what the hell?
What brand of gin do you like there? I'm going to try. Is it
He's just trying to gin up some controversy.
Oh, that's very good. So, Late Night Retro. Make sure to go to Late Night Retro on YouTube.
Yes.
And check out his Yume Penguin Monogatari.
Yes. Click all the ads.
Click all the ads. Absolutely. Hey, if they're not saying it about themselves, it's okay, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So
he doesn't know us.
Nope. He does follow us on Twitter, I saw.
He did, yeah.
So we got a nice little follow back there. But shout out to Late Night Retro. I love how easy it is to produce. I love how easy it is to access the ability to produce high quality videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you get guys like this to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Dustin, let's talk about some Mario Odyssey.
Ooh, can we talk about Blaster Master Zero first?
Dustin, let's talk about some Blaster Master Zero.
Okay. Wave. Am I right?
Yeah, dude.
That wave gun?
It's overpowered.
That's so good.
It's so satisfying, isn't it?
You just kill everything.
But if you're not paying perfect attention, one little thing can clip you and take it away.
Yep.
I love that build system that they have.
Mm-hmm. It's like it's like we'll call it the Benjamin Franklin way of gaming.
Because it's just brute force, electricity everywhere.
Doesn't he have a what's the quote? Did you give us liberty? Yes, ma'am, if you can keep it. Blaster Master will give you the wave gun.
If you can keep it. Okay, there you go. That was an over my head reference. I don't know. I've never heard that quote, let alone attributed to him. Learn something new every day, man. I'm not doubting you. No, I'm not doubting you at all.
I doubt myself constantly.
Well, that's what it is to be alive. But Blaster Master Zero, I loved the game. What do you think of it?
So far, so good. I like running around. It's fun to use. It feels good to use the tank. The jumping feels good, and it feels good to use the little dude both two-dimensionally and overhead.
Yeah.
It's firing on all cylinders.
And there's enough nods to the original stuff where it gives you that refresher. Like, I do remember all of this. It's not as cryptic. I thought the game was easy. I haven't gone back with that hard mode they released, but it was a good easy. It was a fun easy.
Yeah. I think I've beaten 3 bosses.
Okay.
So far. It only took me like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a long game.
So I'm making pretty good progress. Like the game does a good job of pushing you forward. Like
it does, and it's easy to not get lost. Is it $20? Is that what it is?
I think so. I saw they had no. I think it may have been $10.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so it's a no-brainer purchase.
It's a no-brainer $10 game.
Yeah.
I love the music. I know you probably love the sound design and stuff too.
I love they have the old school like Sunsoft sound effects in there.
Yes, it just feels correct.
Yeah.
I didn't play Fester's Quest, but I'm assuming it would still be in line with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like Batman, obviously, it was really good. Oh, to go back, I missed this from Zarek. He says number 1, Mario 3, number 2, World, number 3, 64. This guy needs to die in a fire. People will be more mad about that than you know what? If Battlefront 2 hadn't shit the bed, Jeremy Parish would be lighting the internet on fire for more than a day.
Yeah. It would have been like that time Colin Moriarty tweeted one time. And all of his friends stabbed him in the back.
And then he made a lot more money and became more successful. Yeah. He just released, he's starting a gaming podcast.
Yeah, I saw it. Was it Side Quest?
Colin's Last Stand Side Quest, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very happy for him.
I was going to tweet at him, but I didn't know if it was funny or not. He tweeted and he said, man, 10,000 subs in one day. That's pretty good. And I was going to tweet, oh, we just hit 10,000 subs. It took us like
7 years.
It took us like 7 years, but we're basically on the same track.
Pretty much.
I was going to tweet that at him, but I didn't know if it would come off as funny.
See, the problem is we have 280 characters. So you can get wordy now with a joke.
Yeah.
That 140 limit minus the name, like, yeah, really. Brevity is the soul of wit. Is that the quote?
Mm-hmm.
From Twain or somebody? I don't know. Andrew says, speaking of Mario 64, apparently the N64 Classic is only going to have 18 games.
That's like 15 too many.
What is the math? Will the Switch 2 or whatever, will they bring it back to coming with a game?
Yes. It's going to be like Cars 3 though.
Yeah, like it will be two generations ahead, and we'll be able to get. It'll be like Tiger Handheld's coming back. You get one system, one game.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be terrible.
We're just throwing out amazing ideas all night.
Oh, man.
If we worked in like the same office trying to do a podcast together, our brainstorming whiteboards would be absurd.
Looked like the ravings of a madman.
It would be like Chemical Brothers, Terry Crews for president. Those are on the agenda.
We would have one whiteboard that's just band names.
We would have to.
Yeah.
It would have to be one of the flip ones. We'd have a work side and a band side. So whenever somebody stumbles across a band name, everything stops. You flip the board over. It'd make titling the episodes easier.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of context, even if it's not mentioned. Just have band names. We can just have episode titles for the next half a year. Blaster Master Zero is excellent. Do you think Sully will have any interest in playing it? He likes the pixel look.
Yeah, he does. I played it when he was in bed one time. Like the one time that I played it. So he hasn't seen it yet. I have to play it in front of him one day.
Do you think? Yeah, I bet it's attached. I bet he likes the frog. I bet he likes the car.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a jumping tank. How cool is that?
You don't have a pulse if you don't think that's cool.
Right.
So any other final thoughts before we...
Blaster Master Zero is good. Go get it.
And you're right. It is $10. It is $10. I'm 100% sure on that.
Like, I would have bought it for $20. $10 is a steal.
I agree.
And you can, for $2, you can get Shovel Knight as a character. I saw that.
That's worth it, giving them the extra. NT Creates. They also did that, if you're looking for another $10 game, that Mighty Number 9 Azure Strike crossover is excellent. I know I've talked about it before. But that was one where you can craft your own Mega Man weapons.
Yeah, right.
That's only $10 too, so keep an eye out for that. When you get through Blaster Master, if you want another one, that's a great one to play. Zerk says, I want to play Bomberman 64. Nobody ever talks about it. Said, I haven't played it in over 10 years. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. I remember loving that game. I mean, I loved Bomberman on the Super Nintendo. And that holds up really well.
I think I played a Bomberman game like one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think
I
you'd
never
be
got
good
into
at
it.
it. There's a really good TurboGrafx 16 one, or like a heavily sought after one. I'm pretty sure.
I know there's one on the Gate of Thunder disc. That may be the one I played.
There was a 10-person one that it was a big, massive one. I played at a con. That was really fun. There was like
Was
8 or
it
12 people playing.
Sega Saturn?
Might have been Saturn. Yes, I think that one
Saturn
was Saturn.
Bomberman?
Yeah. So yeah, all right. Let's talk about Mario Odyssey.
Okay, so Super Mario Odyssey is the Super Mario game that I've been waiting for since Super Mario 64.
I love it.
I have got to the part where, like you said, I beat it. I beat Bowser.
Yeah.
I saw the end. It is. I think that game is important in the same way that Mario 64 was important. Like
Okay.
I after I beat it, I just couldn't stop thinking about it, and like I came to the conclusion that like what I just said, it being as important as 64, and if Nintendo keeps going the way that they're going, this may be the Nintendo console we've been waiting for since the Super Nintendo.
It's weird because we're in the middle of it,
Yeah.
so it's hard. You want to tell yourself pump the brakes,
Right.
but I'm right there with you, man. I have adored the Switch since I've gotten it. We're still in the first year. I haven't had it for a year yet, and Golf Story is incredible. We just talked about the 2 Inti Creates games. I hear Doom's really fun on it,
Yeah.
and then there's Mario and Zelda.
They ported Doom to the Switch.
When the NVIDIA CEO was talking about how exciting and powerful that NVIDIA chip running the Switch is going to be, he was not kidding, because I have a chip in that similar line for that HTC put together in a tablet, and it's garbage. But they knew better. I remember when they said it was a K1 chip, I'm like, that is shit. It barely can run Hearthstone. What are they doing? It's amazing.
So, Super Mario Odyssey has one flaw, and the one flaw is that it should have been preceded by The Wizard 2.
Holy crap. Like Ben Savage, or Fred Savage, and Ben, their sons take off on them to
Go to California.
I think that they gotta. I mean, it's a sequel. You gotta ratchet it up. They skip California and go straight to Tokyo. They go to
Yes.
Nintendo.
Yes. Yes.
God, good ideas tonight, I guess. How many sunshines or whatever moons? I guess they're moons in this one. Do you know how many away you are until there's? They set a goal of 120 more moons or something for me. Like, that's how many I had to go. And I'm assuming that's when some really tough levels start popping up.
I haven't got a specific number yet.
And I'm not sure if it just worked out to be a random number. So if you would go back to the ship and throw your hat on that globe and see what it says.
Yeah.
But what's cool is you eventually unlock the ability to see where the moons are, and then you just have to figure out how to get to them.
Right.
But that in and of itself has not been tedious like I thought that it was. Some of these are brutally difficult to get through.
Yeah.
And these are maybe I'm in the process already of these really hard levels. It certainly has been more difficult to collect these than I was expecting.
Yeah.
After the credits rolled.
Man.
I'm just going to keep playing. Oh, I heard Rocket League plays quite well on the Switch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So that's another...
Rocket League. On a Nintendo platform.
It's great.
It's like, man. So, as many companies come and go in the gaming industry, you kind of forget that Nintendo has been in it since like 1984.
Yeah.
I know I kind of glossed over that. Like I just kind of thought, oh, Nintendo, whatever. And then, man, they just came out of nowhere and just dunked on the entire industry.
We were too young to realize that or to see that happen.
Yeah. But man.
And they kind of did it. Not kind of. They did it with the Wii, where they just like stopped in, like, oh, what are you guys doing? We were over here making this. Here's what we made, and it crushes.
Yeah.
And Wii didn't do that, but man, the Switch is, and we're not even to the holiday season yet, and it's just, it feels like that system is firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah. Super Mario Odyssey is so good. It perfected motion controls.
I played it a lot in handheld or stuck together. I did not separate the Joy-Cons.
It's just you can shake the thing,
yeah,
like make him climb up something faster.
Yeah, I did that.
Or make him boost a little faster.
Yeah, or roll.
Other than that, you're using buttons.
I mean, I adore Galaxy, so I know that I can enjoy that style of gameplay. So what was a moment where the controls stood out for you? Like, wow, this worked.
It is anything where, like the bullet bills, when you use one of them, you hit the Y button and you can accelerate. If you shake it, you can go a little bit faster.
Really?
Do some things, yeah. But if you don't want to use it, you don't have to.
Which is very smart on there. Now, they keep reminding you that you can use it. You can't shut those notifications off.
Over and over with a video in the bottom right-hand corner.
But it's cool that they didn't hamstring you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really, really fun video game. There's nothing to like really spoil about it. I did try to avoid all the different costume combinations.
Mm-hmm.
And right out of the gate, there was a Yoshi, not Yoshi, that blew my mind. I'll ask you about it after the show.
Okay.
I think you'll know what I was talking about when I remind you of it. But there's some silliness here that feels appropriate.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just in general, like New Donk City, there's real people there.
New Donk City. Yes.
And walking up, Mario being as tiny as he is walking up. Hey, remember how I said I adored the way that game ended?
Yes.
Did you enjoy the way that game ended?
It was incredible.
There were little cut scenes. There was a great bit of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, as much as I've heard people talk about Odyssey, I never hear anyone mention the music.
It's incredible.
It's phenomenal. It's so good. And then you go into the 8-bit portions, and it's still good. The chiptune sounds even better for somehow.
It's just like a sprinkling of chiptune.
Yeah.
It's not like full on. No.
Right.
It's just. It's very similar. Did you ever play the Link Between Worlds on the 3DS?
Mm-mm.
There's like so instead of, it's like a reverse mirror of what this chiptune sounds like. They have an acoustic guitar played with like a kind of a Spanish Latin style, and it's the Zelda theme song over the whole world, and it just feels perfect, but sprinkled with a little real instrumentation over 8 bits. Cool. Whereas this feels like they've got the full orchestrated music, and then they sprinkle a little bit of chiptunes in those little weird 2D spots. It's like, that was perfectly done. Nintendo's sound design is overrated, or overlooked, I should say. Not overrated. Yeah. Underrated, overlooked quite often. You look at the way Mario Kart, the way that over the last several, music will slow down and chime in with what you're doing and reacting. Yeah. And this does exactly that. Did you ever get bored of the Cappy mechanics?
Nope.
Me either. The one thing I struggled with, and it would be different with motion controls. You know, where you can like start spinning as a top, and then let your cap go and do like a. You can like, I don't know, get a huge radius around you. With the joysticks, that's kind of tough to get going.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm excited. Like it's a great game.
Yeah,
Zelda and Mario lived up to the hype. Mario is so good, it's almost worth getting the console, even if you're not a Zelda fan.
absolutely.
And there's enough golf stories and Blaster Master Zeros and $10 to $20 games that are really, really good that can easily pad out the rest of the system if you can get tired of Mario.
Yeah, like I've never played Cave Story before. I could totally pick up Cave Story for the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a very good port. The Switch version is very, very good. Yeah. It's hard to not be a Nintendo fanboy at this moment.
Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Have you tasted one of the carts?
I've not.
Do it. It's crazy bitter. Remember when we were talking about that coming out?
Yeah,
Try it.
Yeah.
And if you can tolerate it, you can have Sully try it.
Oh my goodness, who am I? Jessica Chobot.
Oh, that's deep cut.
Yeah,
She got famous for licking a PSP or whatever.
that's how she started her career. Holy cow! I thought of something the other day. I think it was IGN. I remember watching one of their videos, and it was Jessica Chobot dressed in like an Alice in Wonderland costume or something, but she had a skirt on. And one of the jokes was her male co-workers were taking underskirt photos of her. Like, that was the joke. They were using like their flip phones to take underskirt photos. No way would that fly nowadays.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Like DDoS the website, torches and pitchforks. No. Oh my God.
Even if she's like, even if she came out and was like, no, it was my idea. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Man. Still, you know what? If somebody finds that video,
I was just gonna say, man, that's the hot thing to do right now. So, Zarek asks, the Switch also has Neo Geo games, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Has some very good King of Fighters on there. It's got a pretty fun golf game, Neo Geo Golf. It's got at least one Metal Slug.
Sweet.
So yeah, there's some, and they're $8.
You're not a video game console until you have a Metal Slug on it.
That seems fair. So I guess I'll get rid of. No, somehow I could probably get it on PS4.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a collection out there somewhere.
I'm sure you can download it right now.
You're probably right. Yeah, I know it's on Android. I know you can get Metal Slug on Android. I mean, that's all I have to say about Super Mario Odyssey as well. You got any other... I don't want to spoil some of the neat...
Same.
Like worlds or items or locations that were really cool where I found stuff. This game does reward you for looking around. And if you think there might be something there probably is.
Well...
Like 90%.
There are like hundreds of moons. So you basically they have to be there. Like,
Yeah,
there's so many moons.
That's true. But it doesn't feel like a fetch quest, Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, just aimlessly running around kind of thing.
Right.
Maybe at the end it will, but up to this point it has not. And I think I've collected about 50 moons since I've beat the game. So I'm getting close to whatever this goal I'm looking for is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it's great. I'm glad you enjoyed the ending as well. I just had a big old smile on my face the whole time. There's little like Easter eggs and stuff in it too if you're looking. It was very cool. And I also played one quick thing about fixing up my guitar.
Mm-hmm.
My iFixit screwdriver kit I got for PC and electronics repairs.
Uh-huh.
Had the weird, funky screws that I needed to adjust the bridge on my guitar.
That's awesome.
I'm like, this is amazing. Thank you, iFixit.
Man.
If They have like a $40-some kit and a $60 or $70 kit that is just a wonderful screwdriver set. All sorts of different configurations for iPhones, different hex screws, stuff like that, and different sizes in the weird things. I couldn't believe it worked. It was amazing. Every bit that I needed to fix my guitar was there. And one of them is very weird. It's a tiny hex screw inside of a threaded tube. So there's no like head to the screw. You like screw into the body of it, and then it just is a thread you move up and down. And it had that. I was like, damn. Thank God I asked for this for Christmas 4 years ago. This is amazing. So yeah, I want to mention that. And again, a second shout out to their customer service for helping me with a product I bought 20 years ago. And I never would have found the answer.
Yeah.
And it's not like basically, the whammy bar or whatever is too loose for my liking. And the replacement part is $30. That would bring it up. And he talked to me about the benefits of the newer product, but didn't even say, do you want me to order it for you? He's like, so if you think you want to make the change, you can get it on our site or Amazon or whatever. I'm like, man, you just spent 20 minutes asking Tex what I'm... At one point, I'm on the phone with him, and I was like, can you give me your email address? And he goes, you read my mind. And while on the call, I took a picture of what I was seeing on the back of my guitar versus what he wanted me to see. And then he was able to take my picture to more advanced tech. I was like, oh, yeah. There were a couple of years where we had that funky bridge in there, the bridge block. And it was uncommon, so it wasn't, and it was 20 years ago. So I'm assuming this guy was younger than me I was speaking to. So for him to figure it out as quickly as I don't know, it was great. It was very fun. So maybe I'll write a new song for the podcast. No, that's never going to happen, but it's fun to play with. And I started playing The Mummy Demastered a little more. It was that Contra. So way forward, though, I got to get a little further in. It's not that they're beating me over the head with cutscenes this time, but they still are interrupting the progress with these enormously long dialogue boxes.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Like, I just need to mash A to have them stop talking. And they're tutorial things that they're stopping me with. This is how...
gross.
And the things that they're giving me the tutorial on are contra controls. If you press down and jump, you'll fall through the level. And did you know you can jump up back through the level? And if you don't go to the right spot, it won't complete the tutorial.
Oh, that's the worst.
So it's like, I know what I'm doing, and so the music is incredible, and the look and aesthetics are incredible. So I'm going to keep playing.
Do we know who did the music?
I assume Jake Kaufman was involved just because it was way forward.
Yeah, that's what
but
I was gonna say.
I don't know. If it's not, it's somebody that has his style, his feel.
Cool.
It sounds like a Jake Kaufman thing. So maybe it's like a way forward sound palette that they go for. Or
it's
maybe
like Cake Joffman.
Yes. Cake has a specific sound.
It's his palette swap.
Yeah. Yes. So, The Mummy Demastered, it's a tie-in to the Mummy movie with Tom Cruise that bombed.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dark Universe is done.
I can guarantee the 15 minutes of the Mummy Remastered I've played. Mummy Demastered. Then, I already know that's better than the movie based on some of the reviews that I saw.
Yeah.
It's too bad they wasted a good game on a crappy title. It's rare when a crappy movie. It's rare when they line up.
Yeah.
But man, if that movie would have been great and they have an 8-bit game with it, that would have been such a cool twist because everyone has mobile games or like a AAA game.
Oh, okay. Two things. Zootopia. I would love someone to make an 8 or 16-bit game out of that.
All right, I'm down with that.
Because it had like a jungle level, an ice level, a city level. Like, it's a perfect platformer.
Yeah, like theme or whatever.
They totally should have made Zootopia Demastered. Get on it, way forward. Come on. And two, Dracula Untold. That's one of the other Dark Universe movies. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Whoever made that movie, they loved Lords of Shadow.
Oh, okay.
Castlevania Lords, especially the second one. Like, I was sitting there watching that, and I was like, dude, this is basically a cutscene from Lords of Shadow 2.
All right, I'm done with that.
I bought it on Blu-ray. That's how much I liked it.
I didn't like Lord of Shadow 2 that much, but I love that first one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was that again? You said the Dracula
Untold.
Dracula Untold. Okay, I'll watch. And if it made your Blu-ray cut, I'll definitely watch that.
Yeah.
That's a scary-ish movie that I can get behind. It's not, I'm sure it's not scary, but you know what I mean, like horror theme, dark theme, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, Mummy Demastered. I'm playing it on Steam. And it's cool. It's a good game.
I wonder if that's on Switch.
I don't think so. I do not know. So, all right, man. Let's get to our comments from last week. Some feedback. The last 2 weeks, we got some feedback from Demez and Tony, and then we'll call it a show.
Alrighty.
So you want to bookend Demez with Tony, or bookend Tony with Demez? You want to? I'll read these first ones from Demez, and then you can read Tony, and I'll read the rest. Or what do you want to do? How do you want to do this?
You have it up in the community, and I have it up in the specific episodes. Do you want me to just do That's the Other Metal?
Yes. Yeah. We'll do last episode, then we'll go back to.
Okay. So we'll start off with Tony. He says, "Hey guys, hope your week is going well. I am listening in the background at work this week, so my comments may not be that thoughtful, as I am just picking up bits and pieces. Cool news about NVIDIA and AMD, and it is amazing to see how good NVIDIA is doing. Interesting news about the Elgato capturing 4K at 60 FPS. I wonder about the overall need for these devices in the long term, as gaming consoles and PCs can stream a lot already, and will probably have that functionality for 4K in the future. I like having an independent capture card.
I think a lot of people will.
Yeah.
It's that extra level of granular control.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was going to say, unless you're just trying to hang out with your friends or whatnot. But if you're trying to have the ability to polish in any way, having something external is nice. And plus, I mean, 4K at 60, you need an absolute powerhouse. So to be able to do that outside of the machine would be a really big benefit. Even though this is an internal card, you know what I mean, like offloading some of the rendering and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
But he does say something next, and I agree with him. I think that it kind of answers it.
Let's see. I see the application now, but 3 to 5 years from now, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, probably not. But
yeah,
I would say for at least 3 years, this could be a worthwhile product for not only them to make money, but be utilized by a lot of people.
Yeah. And for me, like, I like PS4. I like it's always streamed really well for me whenever I've used it, but I don't like the interface. Yeah. I don't like having it kind of chopped and like the scrolling text on the side.
Yeah, whereas if you can just get OBS to pipe that out for you, you can do any graphic or arrangement. Yeah. You have a lot more control.
Yeah. But if you don't care, like you said, you just want to hang out and stream some stuff, it's perfect.
Yeah. And that also makes sense from their price point of $400.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's affordable if you're serious, but not needed if you don't want to do that.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of 4K, have you guys heard about the Doritos roulette bidding game to win an Xbox One X? I don't know a ton about it, but I am part of a middle-aged noobs gaming group, and they had one guy win 2 Xbox One X's through the promotion for an average of $100 a piece. A bunch of those guys went out and bought $200 worth of Doritos to try it after they heard that, but I avoided the hype. I will stick with my Xbox One S that upscales for 4K. Damn, that's a lot of Doritos, and I hope they win. Who's the Dorito King? I was going to make a joke about him. Now I can't even think of it.
Keeley?
Yeah, Jeff Keighley. He's just sitting there like Excellent. Sitting there with his. Never mind.
Is
Okay.
his throne of yeah.
Mountain Dew cases.
Isn't there a picture of him sitting? There's a funny promotional Doritos Mountain Dew thing with him. I can't remember it exactly, but there's definitely like a goofy picture of him with that stuff.
I remember one of him holding like Doritos and Mountain Dew and looking completely defeated.
That could be what I'm thinking of.
There's just some random pic somebody grabbed.
Reminds me of I listened to Billy Corgan on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about the meme of like this man's so depressed. Someone took a picture of him on a ride at Disneyland, and he has this grumpy face. And so the meme was like, he can't even be happy at Disneyland. And he's like, I'm at Disneyland, of course I'm happy. It was just a bad picture at the wrong time. But you just see this depressed old Billy Corgan just like looking miserable on a Disneyland ride. It's pretty funny.
Whoever put him on there should have been like, wanna go for a ride?
Yes.
Awesome. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, the rat in a cage, like he's like stuck in a roller coaster.
Well, what was I going to say? Goodness. Oh, excellent podcast. Complete side tangent. Jordan Peterson was on Jocko podcast.
Oh, really?
Episode 98. It was fantastic.
I would like to hear those two talk quite a bit. It was
excellent.
Yeah, I've seen some really interesting stuff with Jordan Peterson. He was on Sam Harris's podcast twice. Their first one was terrible. They had a 2-hour argument about trying to define what truth was. It was horrible. Because they're both like it came across they're both trying to outsmart each other. Yeah. And they're both brilliant. But the second one was really awesome on Sam Harris's. And I've seen him on like Dave Rubin and other places. And I've seen just his own lectures. He's a very, very smart man. Very fun to listen to.
Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. Where was I?
And he's Canadian.
Yeah, right. Bummer about Runic Games. There we are. Dustin, cool to hear that you watched the Hobbit trilogy with your son. I enjoy watching those with my boys too. Josh, for your conversation, poor Josh, about Xbox One X, I don't think I'll be buying that version. I recently upgraded to the Xbox One S, which upscales to 4K, so I'm fine with that. I got a deal for $150 brand new and hooked my brother up with a deal on my Xbox One, so I cannot imagine buying an Xbox One X right now. If I win one somehow, then yes. Other than that, no. It will be interesting to see what Microsoft and Sony do next. I like Microsoft's current model, which I think mimics PC gaming in some way. 3 levels of consoles, but they all play the same games, and you can choose resolution and load times based on the model you buy. I would like to see more of that. Another great episode. Have a great week.
Speaking of Tony winning consoles, he won a Gears of War Xbox signed by the dev team.
I remember that, yeah.
Crazy.
I think he eBayed that.
He did. So hopefully some Gears fan out there.
Yeah.
Is very excited. I don't blame him. He's not like a Gears nut or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. It was really cool to see.
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder if it had a chainsaw on the end of it.
No, I know it didn't. It was red and black.
That'd be rad.
It would be. Or if it had like a chainsaw instead of the ding when you would open the control panel. If it was like a zzz. All right, so Demez from 2 episodes ago, he says... he does. It's funny. It's a joke similar to what we've been saying. He says, well, we are white, and we all live in nations, so I guess we're white nationalists. He says, hold on a second. I just figured it out. Discord is creating Nazis, sure. However, Discord functions only because of the internet. So the internet is responsible, but it doesn't stop there. Since we all know Al Gore invented the internet, that means Al Gore is secretly the world leader of white nationalists and neo-Nazis. Holy crap, and he's a Democrat? So the Democrats are behind it? The Dems are wagging the dog, trying to make conservatives look like crazy Nazis. So we'll lose public favor and votes. I've got to send this to Alex Jones, right? My favorite is he's Canadian, and he's dropping all the U.S. Terms correctly.
Yeah.
Very cool. That was pretty... When I read that article, I'm like, oh, he's blaming Al Gore for the internet. Oh, this is great. And then he's like, Alex Jones. That was a very, very good funny email. He says, me and my circle of friends in Canada, we are not laughing at you guys. We are sad for you guys and are worried what all this shit's going to do to the world economy and peace. He says, speaking of hot ladies, check out Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny. Holy crap. Yep. I agree with him. She's adorable in that movie.
Marissa Tomei in basically anything she's ever been in.
Yeah. I guess she just wasn't in very many movies. I only know her from My Cousin Vinny.
Because she's Aunt May now, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. She was Tony looking good in what was that movie? Civil War.
Yeah. Well, and the new Spider-Man Homecoming. She's way more prominent in that. Yeah.
All right, that came out, did it?
It did.
I need to watch that.
You haven't seen it.
Mm-mm.
It's very good. It's very funny. It was lived up to my expectations. And then he also says, okay, this is the last one from this episode. He says, I'm one of the reasons why we can't have nice things. He says, in the next week or so, I'm going to order $5,000 of computer stuff to make Bitcoins. If that goes well, there will be more in the future.
All right.
Thanks. At least it'll be a friend.
Yeah.
That is preventing me from being able to buy my brother a nice graphics card for Christmas.
Make that cryptocurrency, man. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's it for the last couple that's it for 2 episodes ago. And he has some other comments on our most recent one.
Alrighty. Let's see. He says, when I was a kid, my parents could not afford an official Big Wheel, so I got the Green Machine, which was like the GoBots of Big Wheels. The GoBots.
I liked GoBots.
Yeah.
But I know what he means. I didn't view GoBots as a generic ripoff. I just looked at it as, well, yeah, there's Winnie the Pooh, and there's Gummy Bears, and there's Transformers, and there's GoBots, and there's Cyborgs that like cop kind of cyborg movie or cartoon. But as I got older, I realized GoBots were the store brand.
Yeah.
That wasn't all the way back.
That's what I have at the bottom of. That's the other medal.
That's in the middle of what I'm seeing. I'll read what you don't get to. Just read what you have, and I'll finish up.
Hillbilly car wash is when you wash your whole car with the windshield squeegee at the gas station. At the gas pump. It works great. I did that recently. Actually, I got gas under my gas tank, so I just squeegeed it off. Let's see here. What I hate about the Sears Christmas catalog is that particular issue would have very little or no bra section. The ladies' bra section was my favorite part. I would sneak it and look at them.
We all did.
Angry Joe's new rant video about new Need for Speed loot boxes is quite entertaining. The best thing about this 4K push is, as a PC gamer, if you commit to 1080p 60, then we can now and forevermore have 1080p 60 for bottom feeder prices. Or even better, in my opinion, 1080p by 144 hertz screen would be way better than 4K 60, in my opinion. That's my next big upgrade goal for the future in a couple years. A big 144 hertz monitor, 36-inch, low input delay. Maybe then I sell off my mad Bitcoin dollars.
Damn, that's a hell of a monitor. I've got a 144 hertz monitor. It is great for video games. It sucks for anything where colors matter. So any work at home or just trying to do any good artwork. I've seen airs go up that I couldn't see on my monitor that have been edited pictures for our thumbnails that have very clear airs in them.
Man.
But I just couldn't see. I didn't see it. So But for video games, it is amazing. And I, if you can get me a really rock solid high frame rate, I tend to. We all, I think most of us listen to this podcast agree with that.
Yeah.
Get those frames up as high as possible. So maybe you did get all of it. Because there's only a couple that you're missing. Are you out?
No, I got 4 more.
Okay. 'Cause you're also in a different order than me, which is weird.
Fun Canadian fact, on November 11th, we call it Remembrance Day because we celebrate and remember those who served and died fighting for our freedom. That sounds like kind of a mix of Veterans Day and Memorial Day.
It does, yeah. That's
Mario
good. That was
Kart.
just last week.
Yeah.
Too. Was the 11th was Veterans Day too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they just call it Remembrance Day up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Mario-
sent a lot of soldiers over, and not just World War II, but after that as well.
Yeah.
With like Korea, they had engagements. Yeah. So
I was gonna make that poutine.
that's right.
Not gonna have in Korea.
No.
Get over there and make that brown.
Yeah, bring them gravy, blow their minds, fatten them up a little bit.
That's why Kim Jong-un is so big.
He's the only one eating gravy.
Yeah. He's hoarded all the poutine to himself.
He's got Dennis Rodman and poutine. I mean, I'd be happy with life if that's what I had.
He's got that mad poutine cash. Dumbass goes on to say, Mario Kart AI. Was that a Turing test or a turning test?
But you had to love that.
Well done.
Great pun.
Yes. We don't really need a new English word for Schadenfreude, as the fine Germans already invented the word. We can and have co-opted it into English. A better world moving forward globally if we can merge words between languages. The more the better. It's actually better for your brain to learn different languages. So if we all just go to one language, dementia is going to start to increase. And
there are theories that state that depending on the language that you're thinking of does change the way your brain processes the information, so you can actually think in a completely different manner. I only speak one language, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And I have no source of sight for that. So it's just information in my head. That could be totally bullshit, but it passes a sniff test.
Yeah.
That if you think about words in a different way, it can change the way that you're thinking about certain situations.
Mm-hmm. Me gusta.
You got some Spanish now. Yeah, Schadenfreude.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Are we out of? Dude, I'm so I when I was trying to scrub through for episode titles, like I didn't get how some of your Poltergeist jokes went over my head. I was disappointed because they were fucking good. They were really good.
It's my specialty.
Jokes over my head.
Yes. I got 2 more for Demez.
Yeah, okay. You got them all.
A movie recommendation for Dustin to watch with Solomon is The Dark Crystal, Jim Henson's Muppets. I vaguely remember that movie. That might be a little more intense for him right now.
Yeah, definitely. Is it, Jennifer Connelly, that one. David Bowie. No,
that's Labyrinth.
That's Labyrinth. Yeah, yeah, okay. But Dark Crystal still has very scary puppets.
Yeah.
My sister loves Dark Crystal. I remember that.
And then last one, he says, another thing to do with a 6 gig card is you can do super sampling and crank it all the way up to 4K if needed. And if you combine that with shadow play, you can actually play and record 4K video even with a 1080p monitor.
Which is very cool. And super sampling is awesome. If it's an option for you, definitely do it. Both AMD and NVIDIA cards support it if the software does. So if I log into Hearthstone or a Blizzard game right now, I have a 1080p monitor, but was it 3840 by 2160, whatever 4K is, or UHD. If we want to get nerdy, we can go down that rabbit hole. We all know what we mean. 4K. That's an option for me to just select, and so instead of like an image, if you're not familiar with super sampling, basically it is instead of a computer trying to stretch an image out to fill out pixels, to
Mm-hmm.
try to do its best guess of where the edges and stuff are, super sampling crunches all that information into a single pixel, so you get much sharper images without using anti-aliasing or anything like that. So instead of it's guessing what to fill out, it's almost what to do with all this extra information. And on Blizzard games in particular, it works really well. There's a World of Warcraft demonstration I remember when super sampling was just getting released with the new drivers, and it's pretty incredible what super sampling
That's awesome.
can do. Yeah, it's fun.
Math, y'all.
Math, you gotta love it. That's gonna be it for the week for the show. So everybody, thank you very much for joining us. Shout out to everyone in chat. Jake, it was good to see you again, man. Andrew, Zarek, Babs, always a pleasure. Ken, good to see you. And also, we can't forget Caleb. So thank you everybody for joining chat with us this week. And next week we will be off. That's what I wanted to say about next week.
Yes.
Next week is Thanksgiving, which here in the U.S., which will be celebrated on the 23rd. We are not going to have an episode out next week. So we'll be back probably December 1st with a new episode. And this one should come out on the 17th. I really screwed up the last 2 weeks. I had them really, really late. So this one should be out the 17th, and we should be good to go there. Speaking of our podcast, if you would like the audio version, it is available at our website, classicleet.com. That's classic L337. You can also use that handle to find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, and also SoundCloud. We put podcasts all of those places. That same username can be used to find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, again, SoundCloud. If you'd like to support the show, please leave us a rating wherever you listen to us, or you can use the Amazon links in the descriptions. And Dustin, I mentioned we got approved. I got to set that up, like our own curated page.
Word.
But yes, you can support us through our Amazon affiliate links. And that's going to be it for the week. I already mentioned at the top of the show, Cubby. Wait, did I just talk about it on the show? Or was that before we recorded?
That may have been before we started.
Well, Cubby, who we like a lot, has worked with Triangles, who we just played last week, or 2 weeks ago. Triangles just released a full album called Destiny, and Cubby did a remix of one of those songs, and it's great. I interviewed Cubby 5 years ago, and I asked him a question: if you could work with any other chiptune artist, who would it be? And it's Smiletron, but Smiletron's also operating under same guy as Triangles. So pretty rad. 5.5 years later to see them coming together. They've maybe worked in the past, but this is the first time I've recognized them working together. This particular song is called Haunting Me, and it's Cubby's reprise, not a remix. They call it a reprise. It's very, very good. Get Triangle's entire album, especially if you like Aphex Twin or, I don't know, really rapid, syncopated beats. This album's great. So
Cool.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for listening. Have a good holiday if you're from the States, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for episode 256.
Boosh.
All right, chat, we are going to shut it down. You guys have a great night. Enjoy that awesome music, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Well, maybe
Peace,
before
peace.
then. We might stream.
Oh, yeah.
So, all righty, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.